going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to be drinking some beers. 5 of us. Well, 4.5 if you count Keith. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of Black is Beautiful. This is actually something that we did before with who did we do before? You guys know better than I. It was a couple different breweries that we did the beers from. It was but we did a Black is Beautiful already, didn't we? Or was it just all together?
This is the first time we've done, right?
This is the first
one. For some reason I thought we did one. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. It was all
beer tubers are not telling us.
There you go. Yeah. So it was all together as we did, but we're going to be doing this one a little bit different, but much the same. Obviously, a much heavier kind of subject matter. But we kind of where did this kind of got organically brought up in conversation? I forget who actually kind of brought it up about doing these. But we came up with the plan, let's just send everybody beers like we did last time. And then it kind of just pivoted to, hey, Sean sending beers. Let's just do those this week. And then Keith and I will send off some beers and we'll do those next week. And maybe it kind of turns into a thing where there's a little bit of ping pong back and forth for a little bit. Who knows? But these beers comes courtesy of the boys from Nerd Sense. So why don't you introduce them? Well, everybody else say hi before you introduce them.
Hi.
What's up, everyone?
There you go.
Yeah, so these are 2 local Massachusetts breweries. This is Trillium and White Lion. White Lion is a black-owned brewing company. So White Lion released this first, and I'm not sure if this is the same beer. Well, White Lion released it in Springfield, and like a week or 2 later, Trillium had the can. So I didn't look into it too much. 10.7%, and then Lord Hobo, they're a local brewery out of Woburn, Mass. This is a 7%. Imperial Stout. This I haven't had. I've had the Trillium, and obviously all of these are collabs with Weathered Souls, who started it all.
See the I've never heard of White Lion Brewing before.
I haven't until this.
Yeah, so they're new to me, obviously, and this is the weird part: is that Trillium. A lot of people I think know who Trillium are, but I think more people might know Lord Hobo because Lord Hobo gets massive distro.
Or distro.
Like they make it to Florida and then going out. Well, I don't know how far out west they go, but they get a lot of distribution. So I assume a lot of people at least are more familiar taste wise with Lord Hobo than Trillium. A lot of people know Trillium because it is what it is. But yeah. So who picked these up?
I did.
Sean.
Okay. And then you went, there were brewery only releases? I'm just curious.
Trillium was Lord Hobo. I did get at the brewery, but only because I was literally driving past the exit and I was like, we should probably go there and I'll just pick them up. I don't know if they're going to release them in distro, but they're in distro everywhere. So
I don't think so. Here's the thing. And that's the reason why I asked is because I've noticed I haven't seen one of these in distro yet. Have you, Keith?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
One of the South Jersey breweries.
3-3s maybe.
It was one of them. It might have been Chimney.
Okay. Only because I think I was assuming most of them were trying to avoid distro to maximize profit so they could donate more, if that makes any sense. Because you obviously have to sell to a distro cheaper than what you typically sell. But I was just curious. I haven't seen any personally hit distro. Kyle, did you get yours, Goose Island, or?
I don't think any that I'm familiar with hit distro. Some of them, if you count bottle shop driving to Finback, grabbing pallet or cases and bring it back to their shop. Other than that, I don't think I know.
Where'd you get the Goose Island one?
A guy from Instagram, a guy sent it to me, and that was taproom only. That was actually a crowler. That was taproom only crowlers.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Mike?
No, I was gonna say that I looked on Trillium's website and the Black is Beautiful stuff is still available. I think that if it went to distro, it might end up selling more because I don't think people buy stouts from breweries as much as they do the IPAs. All the IPAs they released this week sold out the first day. The Black is Beautiful stuff they still have. This is 3-4 days later.
If it was in a bottle, it would have sold out the day.
Yeah, because Affogato.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the aeronaut I sent was distro.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I looked it up. I was just going to say where the proceeds are being donated since we're talking about maximizing profits. The Trillium White Lion one is going to the Healing Racism Institute of Pioneer Valley and the Lord Hobo is the Boston chapter of the NAACP. That's where the proceeds are going from both beers.
Okay, yeah, and then Keith, I know Main Scooter's doing a local like it's integration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
looked at it. I don't remember. So.
And what was the other one? With the chimney one? I guess is.
Oh, the one I picked up yesterday was the Old Heights Brewing. I don't know where that one is going.
Okay.
I can find out though.
So yeah, just like the altogether beers, we're obviously going to give our opinions on the beer, whether we like them or not, and all that stuff. But the grand scheme of things, obviously, if these beers aren't the best beers in the world, or we don't give them glowing kind of wow, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life, I don't think that should distract you from trying them yourselves for a couple of reasons. One, we have palates that are different from yours. Every beer is like that, so you know what I mean. You never know. But also, I don't think you could really go wrong because you're getting some beers from obviously Trillium and Lord Hobo know what the fuck they're doing. I doubt these are going to be like, you know what I mean, sideways. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, money goes more often than not. The money goes to local charities or organizations that are going to do good for people of color in your area, more specifically, because it's not like it's going into one fund for one organization or in your area. It's going to help a lot of different people, and that does not suck. So yeah. So I vote we do them both at the same time. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, let's do it.
there we go.
Which one is this? Okay.
So how has these beers been received from breweries around you guys? Because I've seen a lot of breweries I wanted to see them do these beers, and they haven't, and it kind of speaks volumes, to be perfectly honest with you. So I don't know if that's the same where you guys are.
I haven't heard anything in regards to how they've been received. Really, other than I find it weird that, like you just said, that there are certain breweries that have not done it.
Yeah, I kind of thought like when places like Trillium, Other Half, you know, like some of these, you know, hyped breweries, the other breweries be like, oh, you know, like feel maybe some pressure, you know, it's not going to kill my business to support Black people, but I don't know, man.
Is it possible that these breweries just recently did another charity beer, and we're kind of not wanting to try to eat out of their own profits again so soon?
I mean, with COVID going on, we do know that, you know, it's affecting breweries in different ways, which is a very fair point. And if you are donating 100% of the proceeds, yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, that's a fair point, Mike.
I just wanted to say that it doesn't automatically equal racism, although it could. That's all.
Well, but it also could be a matter of not racism, but also like it's not racism, but it's also not racism. Like it's also like my business is the bottom line dollar, and I could give a fuck about anything, which isn't racist, but it's also like speaks to the company. You know what I mean? Like you being like, well, I don't really want to do this because it might alienate my fan base. Be like, well, if you do this and you alienate your fan base, then you have a fan base that you probably should be alienating. And that's fine if you believe that. Like that's fine if you don't want to do the beer because you don't want to alienate that fan base. But at least now people know that you don't want to alienate that fan base, and therefore you could spend your dollars where you choose. You know, that's my 2 cents, at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a reason why I don't get my food ever from Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. So I mean, you vote with your dollar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and dude, I'm a hypocrite. I fucking a lot. I'm not saying I go to Chick-fil-A a lot. I buy shit on Amazon. I do a lot of fucking hypocritical stuff. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm like fucking righteous and infallible. Shit. Anyway, so the creamy, fluffy one, right? The one that threw out the bigger head, that's the Lord Hobo, correct?
Yep. So
Yes,
that's
it is.
I have more head on mine, yeah, and the Trillium dissipated, but the Trillium is also 10.7%, and so the Trillium one, it doesn't say on here. The blend is a blend of 2 different barrel ages, so they brewed a beer together.
Wait, the Trillium does have barrel aging?
Yes.
I knew it. I just tasted it. I'm like, that tastes like.
You took a sip without us, God, Kyle.
I'm thirsty. That's a. You know what? maybe this isn't the appropriate time. This is a big issue I have when we do these live streams. We're 10 minutes in, and we haven't even sipped the beer.
Okay, fine, let's go.
I've been drinking the whole time.
Yeah,
You're an amateur, then you don't have another
Kyle.
beer. You don't have your side beer on fucking Game on Lock.
Oh, I like that Mike makes it look like he's drinking a beer and he's drinking a Monster to stay awake. Jeez.
No, the point was it was a Monster.
It smells like. Are we talking about the Trillium one first?
I'd rather do the Lord Hobo since it's not barrel aged and all
like
that
it,
shit
yeah.
first.
Lord Hobo, despite being a few ABV points lower, I think drinks more like the base.
That smells fucking
God, you took it
awesome.
to the
The
pulpit.
Lord Hobo. That smells awesome. Like I think the Lord Hobo smells exactly like how I want a core 4 stout to smell.
It just smells like just like a roasty.
A roasty toasty, like you're not quite sure if there's not coffee in it because that's how roasty it is, but there's no coffee in it, so it's just giving you all those beautiful roasty notes. Yeah, it is absolutely fucking fantastic. Like that's how I want them. I want my core 4 to smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is almost like if I was gonna give someone an example of what a stout should smell like, this is where I'd go with. You know what I mean? Something just like this.
Like if I did that blind, I'd be like, I'm not quite sure if there's coffee in here or not. I'm gonna have to wait till I taste it. That's how it's to me. Big, roasty, toasty, but not over the top. It's not bittering.
Yeah.
It's roasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the chocolate notes are so strong. It's almost smells like to me like roasty chocolate milk. It's like really nice.
I think in every one of my I've done 5 reviews at this point of Black is Beautiful. I've said to Matt's point, you almost could believe it had coffee in it. It's like as much roast as a stout can kick out until you're like really questioning, or does it have a little bit of coffee? So I'm really happy with that. Again, it's three ABV lower, but drinks pretty much like well, of course, Matt, you actually had the original recipe. I haven't had the original. I just had people who brewed that straight.
It's kind of similar to the base recipe. It's not as vibrant, or I shouldn't say that. It's not as, and I don't mean this in a negative way, as harsh, because you're also dealing with a 7% beer as opposed to a 10.5% beer, so it lacks the ABV. But it's similar in respects to the original.
And the original is 9%.
No, 10.5, I believe. I think the original base is 10.5.
I think it's just 10.
Okay, just 10.
Yeah, just 10.
So I'm taking
I
a
think it
whiff
was
on
10.3
Trillium now.
I'm gonna argue with you.
Ridiculous.
So the Trillium is so for our version of Black and Beautiful, we brewed the shared recipe from Weathered Souls, 80% component of the final beer, and blended it with 2 currently unreleased bourbon and rum barrel-aged beers, which 20% of the beer.
Holy shit!
And vanilla, right? Yeah. And vanilla.
Oh yeah. Smell. You don't have to read
Right?
it.
That doesn't like.
Yeah, that's it's a decent amount of vanilla. I'm gonna sit here and I'm not gonna say I'm getting a huge, like, overt spirit component on the nose, but I'm getting like a heat to the point where my nostrils is flickering from the amount of alcohol, like evaporation. Not that it's hot, it's not burning. It's almost like smelling isopropyl alcohol. That it's not like hot. It's just you smell alcohol. That's how it's coming. A little bit of buttery, rummy vibes, but outside of that, yeah. For me.
I think it's actually the rum that is what made me so like it being like, oh, this is barrel aged, which is interesting because I don't have a lot of rum aged beers.
Well, it's a blend too, so you just get a little bit of the characters. And also this like lovely doughiness.
Lovely doughiness.
Like it comes through as like a little bit of cocoa and then just like dough, or like maybe like chocolate cake batter.
Like
see,
like fudge kind of.
Kind of.
To me, it's like if I was like Hunter S. Thompson, and like I wanted to have Cocoa Puffs, but I used like watered down rum instead of milk. That's kind of the way it comes off to me.
When I gave it a really good swirl and got like the head going again, it took a nose. I did get a nice bakery component. I kind of see what Sean was going for there.
That's I think what I was trying to. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes more sense.
It smells like almost like fresh baked. That kind of smell you get walking into a bakery. Just a quick hint of it. I see what he's going for.
Well, when he says delightfully doughy, I always assume he's talking about my body. So it's kind of weird to describe a beer. I'm like, oh, it was
beer. It was confusing.
I'm just delightfully doughy looking like a square.
Nothing to do with the beer, just staring at Kyle.
Oh, the beer.
I'm diving into that Lord Hobo. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Wow.
Or Keith can talk because I forgot about him.
Keith, if you could move your head, keep the camera where it is, move your head to the left, I think it would look better. No, keep it the same. No, your head. Move your head to the left. Physically,
Rotate?
move your head to the left.
Like that?
Like a foot to
Behind
the
the
left.
logo. Behind the logo.
Mike! You ruined it.
You're left. You're left, Keith, not the other left.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
not your right, the other right.
I know where he was going now. So it's ruined.
Ridiculous. Man.
There you go.
Perfect. I did try in editing the other day to put our logo as like the powered by, and then I'd have the Nerd Sense logo, and I tried writing Nerd Sense over it, but Kyle kept moving into the frame, and it didn't work.
Sorry.
This beer reminds me more of a black IPA or a hoppier style.
That's a very good. I didn't think of that, but that's a good analogy because it is
like it's like a chocolate black IPA.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because it gives you so much roast and the taste, but it's devoid of roast and it's just left with the bittering. So when I said, it's roasty, but it's not that bittering. Well, yeah, because it left all the fucking bittering for the taste and left all the roast for the nose. And that bitterness lingers. I haven't taken a sip for a good 10 seconds and it's just stinging in the back.
No, it's there.
Yeah,
I just had
it's
water.
a little thinner than I thought it would be. The body is pretty thin in comparison. In the glass, it sort of looks like it's coating the glass. It's not as thick as I kind of expected.
Trying to see if I can find any more information on their.
The nose, I thought it was going to be bonkers good. I'm not as gaga for it, and the taste. Not that I'm saying it's overtly bad, even though it does have a little like astringent bitter thing going on, and I'm a big fan of. But it's so different than what I smelled. It's kind of like, okay, this is not what I was signed up for.
No, I'm sort of getting the astringency I usually only get in lower ABV stouts. Like sometimes you get around the 5%ers. It has a weird sort of metallic astringency. I'm getting that a little bit here.
I kind of dig it, but then again, I really like black IPAs. So maybe I'm like going into it, not from the nose, and going into it from what I tasted and what I'm thinking of. I kind of dig it. What it should be, what it's supposed to be, probably not. But so it says that the bitterness comes not from the hops, but the deep, dark grains of midnight wheat.
I will say this too, and I think all my reviews of these, I also said this is like a baby of a Russian Imperial Stout and a black IPA, and it's just kind of like which characteristic would the baby get more of. Like again, not to keep like being a dead horse, but I do think the Lord Hobo is pretty similar to the original recipe, just lower ABV.
And that does make sense because the OG recipe is a Russian Imperial Stout recipe. I kind of spoke about this in the review I did of the original, and that it is a Russian Imperial Stout, and all, like through and through, they just didn't put Russian Imperial Stout in it because the name, because it wouldn't make any fucking sense. Here's a black is beautiful beer of people of color that's a Russian Imperial Stout. Like legitimately, that's what I think their reasoning was behind calling it just an Imperial Stout instead of Russian Imperial Stout, because it absolutely is a Russian Imperial Stout.
So when I was before I met my wife, because we met online, so I was scrolling through Match and I saw her profile picture, so I clicked on it. I read her bio. So her father's black and her mother's white. And she made a joke. She goes, my father's black, my mom is Russian. I'm a black Russian if that's your favorite drink. And I was like, you got a sense of humor. I like that. I'm going to send this woman a message. And the rest is history. Yeah.
Nice.
And my
Probably
black
an alcoholic whale early on.
Black stouts. So she would not like this one bit.
But if you told her it was a Russian Imperial Black Stout, do you think she would be okay with it?
If I said this is black and Russian, right up your alley, she'd smell it and be like, this smells boozy, and I don't want this.
That's the Russian side.
Well, at least that's not Sean's wife, to where she give it to her and she's like, "This is the best thing ever," and then 10 minutes later she's like, "Yeah, this is trash." Isn't that what happened with the last like 3 or 4 times we did these.
Yeah,
You
the
like gave her
altogether
the beer
beers.
and be like, she hated the one that we all loved. And
Yeah.
loved the one we did, and then she's like, wait a minute, now she hates them all.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
No, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, pretty much. These she would not like. This one she definitely wouldn't like. It's too roasty for her. This one maybe. It's got a little bit more oomph to it, but I'm not even
Okay.
gonna bother.
I haven't
wanna
tasted this
dive
one yet.
I want to dive into Trillium.
Mike, have you had the Trillium yet?
No,
No, at all.
no, I came into this fresh, Sean.
Oh well, I couldn't wait.
Mike's throwing out the eyes.
I thought his screen froze, but he was just that intently looking.
That's interesting. This one.
Kind of tastes like peanut butter. I'm getting like a peanut butter thing.
I get a strong berry.
Unless one of those unreleased stouts has peanut butter in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get some berry.
I'm with Kyle. Big
It's
berry.
Thick and
Raspberry.
syrupy.
Yeah.
It is.
And the barrel comes through way more than you would think for what the percentage of blend is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, mine's pretty warm. It was just in my basement, like I said, which was like 80 degrees. So like I'm drinking these pretty warm, and I immediately got barrel. So
Yeah. Oh, I got barrel when it was cold. Yeah.
okay, there you go.
But it's also Trillium, so whatever they're saying might be a flat out lie to begin with. So
Yeah.
It is syrupy, and it is them with another brewery, so it's not just straight Trillium, but it does remind me of like some Trillium barrel aged beers that are just syrupy. I like it a lot. It's cool. These beers are so different, both in the stout family, but like they're so different. They're both hitting these sweet spots for me.
And this to speak to what Sean said previously I'm almost guessing is maybe White Lion, they had the base and they shipped the Trillium, and then Trillium's collaboration portion of the show was the blending, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you said they were out right around the same time. So I mean, you think about it, that could have been the collab. Like White Lion brewed the base, you know what I mean? And then Trillium did. Okay, we'll take some stuff off our barrels and throw them in.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know because I looked up the label that White Lion's using, and it looks like the same exact label. So, yeah, I don't know. So if that's the case, then I need to track down the White Lion version.
I like how they tweak the label and like put both of their little like mascots or whatever you want to call them, and then put it vertical. I think that's a kind of a cool twist.
I thought the opposite.
Really?
I thought it was like, look at me, I want to stand out from the purpose, and I want to be cool.
Yeah.
Like almost like draw attention to myself instead of just playing along with everybody and just being. It's supposed to be the same label.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
So it
Go ahead.
looks like the label's exactly the same, but White Lions is 9%, so it must be. Yeah. Yep. It's the same pretty much the same label, except where it has the description. But yeah, theirs is 9%. So yeah, this is different then.
What? Wait, where does White Lions? Where does it say it was brewed on the label?
I'm looking at a bunch of random Untapped pictures.
So it could be
White Lion released first. They released.
What I'm saying is they could have made the base because my understanding was if Trillium's name on it, they need a lot of it. So they might have brewed the base of Trillium, but it's White Lion's beer that they released, and Trillium's like, okay, we'll release the same thing because we have a ton of it, but blend it, and that'll be our variant on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if the label for White Lion says brewed at Trillium, it might be they just brewed a huge ton of it there and kind of split batches off.
This says brewed and packaged by Trillium. Let's see. I can't find a screenshot that says.
And then if they're cutting, even if it's only 10%, but let's say these are 15% barrel-aged stouts, even if it's only 10% of the beer, there's your extra percentage for the ABV and the final product. Yeah.
And honestly, ABVs are loosey-goosey stuff to begin with,
Yeah.
The last time we had an in-depth ABV thing, it would talk about 450 North slushies, and then literally that night.
Yeah.
What about that?
So maybe tonight's the night where Trillium's going to be put on blast that their ABVs are way off.
Yeah.
Too funny. I think both are great in different ways, which is cool.
No, they're both very good.
Yeah. I did Cuvée though.
I disagree.
I was about to do it. Wait, oh yeah, Mike, you haven't really said anything. What do you think of the
I
Trillium?
don't really like either not that much, honestly. They're both okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Sean is hitting on the head. The Lord Hobo one is like a black IPA. If you go that route, yeah, it's fine, I guess. The Trillium one I think is sort of like it's reaching for something that's not quite there. It's not exciting tasting. It's all the notes like, oh, they have all these things. They're all so like mild to me. It's like I feel like I'm getting more things out of just the mouthfeel than I am the actual flavors.
Huh.
It's fine. I'll drink it. I'm not these aren't dumpable, but I don't think these are particularly good.
Huh.
I don't want to be the shitty guy.
Well, no.
They're fine.
What I was going to ask is like I wonder if it's because Reed had a can and he said he did not like it at all. Then he had a second can and he loved it. So maybe your can's fucked up. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I doubt that's it.
It's fine. It's okay. It's just I feel like everything's sort of muddled and not like there's no punch to it. Everything I'm tasting is just sort of like in the background. It's sort of sweet, it's sort of this, sort of that, kind of.
You can't. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And
for me, it's fine. It's just not like I feel like both these beers were betrayed by the nose because I thought I liked the noses so much, and when I'm drinking them, I'm not really getting at all what I'm getting on the nose. Just my opinion.
As usual, though, the Cuvée is pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty good. Betrayed by the nose. I think they opened up for fucking Hatebreed one time.
That is a metal name for sure.
Hatebreed. I haven't thought about those guys in years.
I still listen to them from time to time.
Yeah, like when you're mad at your wife or what?
No, I still dig some of their old songs. Like their first album's like 27 minutes.
Yeah, I Will Be Heard is a phenomenal song.
Dude. Well, that's their second album, but yes.
Is the second album okay?
I remember the very first time I heard that song, not to go off on Hatebreed tangent, but it was they released it on the Tattoo the Earth live CD. And I was like, that song is just so awesome. And then I just love that song.
Yeah. That was back when I used to go to the gym and lift. That was on the list of like songs to pump me up. That song just you could move a mountain listening to that song.
100%.
Hatebreed is music to beat up women too, so I don't listen to that.
Well, that's why I asked. Yeah.
Honestly, I saw them live a few times. They were really, really good. I never liked them enough to actually like the music to buy it, but live they were awesome.
They put on a good show.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah.
I never liked them.
No.
No, they used to play at a music venue we ran all the time, so it was like it sounded like a funny name that attached to a joke. Yeah, like we used to do a bunch of different music, me and my friends, but we used to have a lot of hardcore shows played there. Like the venue we had, like I think Kyle, me and you talked about it previously. Like it was the Coheed and Cambria's first tour was at my venue. Like they ever did like 98, I think, or 2001 or something. I fucking remember.
Would have been like 2001, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but Hatebreed played there a bunch of times, so it was like I don't know. Tough Guy Hardcore Guy is like
sure.
not in the top of my list. Not that Hatebreed's Tough Guy Hardcore Guy. It's more like top 40 guy who wants to be Tough Guy Hardcore guy. But yeah.
Chugga mosh pit. That's what they were. Yeah. They served their purpose. But you know what? Like and this might seem odd at first, but I do think to connect it back to the beer and the initiative of this beer, a lot of music I listened to was very white, like white people making it, but very anti-racist. Like I grew up on a lot of punk music and hardcore, and like you just be at shows and it's like literally like all white people in the audience, all white people in the bands, and they're just like, F off Nazi punks. Like, there was the Fight Racism tour or Stop Racism tour or something like that lasted a couple of years. Like, it was just like, I think when I look back on my life and what informed caring about racism and fighting it, I think like music, interestingly, had a part, because it wasn't until like college I got into hip hop and more like black artists, period. But Hatebreed was not one of those bands, I don't think, talking too much about like tolerance and equality and too busy stirring up the mosh pit. Yeah. He said into the infinite void of silence.
I was gonna say something, and I was like, no one else is saying anything. It's gonna be funnier if it's just silence.
Whatever. Did my microphone die again? Are you working?
Tap 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 tap.
Are you okay?
I did just mix up my beers. Sean said it's a cuvee, and not it tastes like a blend of the two. It doesn't.
Really? Does it?
Well, no, but you know how sometimes you take two beers that are like meh, and for some reason combined they sort of just become more than what they were. Mm-hmm. This does taste like I'm tasting both of these beers together. It doesn't taste like it's not creating anything that I didn't already have.
So it's like nobody's gonna get these analogies. So it's like Leicester winning. The most surprising things ever in the history of mankind is Leicester winning the Premier League, Trump winning an election, and us thinking Mike wasn't going to be sad and bitter during this video because he was so chipper. He was so chipper and alert at the beginning. It was like, oh, he's going to love everything. You're like, hey, I'm here.
He got more bitter, Mike or the Lord Hobo?
Wrong side of the bed.
But no, I agree. They're both better together. So it's like the Reese's peanut butter beers.
That's what it tastes like. Reese's Pieces.
No,
not peanut butter.
No,
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. No, it does not.
Yeah.
No, Keith, you don't want to know why? You think it tastes like that because you're a vegan and you haven't had a Reese's in your fucking billion years. It tastes nothing like Reese's. No. I'll let my wife drink this and then she'll punch you on the face for
Maybe it tastes like vegan Reese's. Have you had a vegan Reese's recently?
Yeah, man, you're making a lot of assumptions here.
What the fuck?
I'm not saying.
What is a Reese's? What the fuck is that? Do you say potato? Do you say binocular? What's going on?
And what?
Wait, how did Sean say it?
Reese's.
Reese's.
Reese's. How do I say it?
Reese's.
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 Reese's. Mike.
Reese's.
Reese's. Are you guys saying racist? What's going on?
It doesn't kind of sound like that. Of all videos to be doing, I love like someone turning in right at that time. Reese's.
Reese's, right? Mike, how do you say it? Tiebreaker.
Reese's.
So you have like an I at the end.
No. Most
Reese is
people
doing what? What is Reese doing?
Who says Reese's? The cast of Legally Blonde.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Or Glee.
It took me a second.
It's Reese's. Reese's is like what, like a 4-year-old, like, I don't know. Like Kyle's like kindergarten class says Reese's. Reese's. You know what I mean? Like, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, most people I knew do say Reese's, but I'm 90% sure it's Reese's.
It is Reese's, but I'm making fun because it's kind of like it's just that kind of.
I have a commercial from official. Damn it,
Reese's.
Kyle! We've been lied to for all of our life.
I blame your parents.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I'm curious. Let's get back to the conversation that we were trying to have at the beginning, which is like breweries that aren't doing these. Like, what percentage did you expect a lot of them to do them, and then just kind of know it didn't take off, or because it seemed like a lot of breweries were doing them, and you expected that kind of groundswell to build, much the same as All Together, and it just seemed not that it tailed off. It's still growing, but at a slower burn.
I'll start with this. So when this first happened, I wasn't aware of it as much as I was when All Together first happened. So I don't know if it was just marketing wasn't as big as All Together, but I saw someone was brewing. I saw the label. I saw someone was brewing it, and I was like, that's cool. And then like it just kind of fizzled off, and I didn't see anything more about it. And then it kind of spiked up again. So maybe breweries also didn't realize that it was a thing that they could join into either. But that's just me. And then all of a sudden, yeah, here it is. But it just feels like this is less marketed or less known than what All Together was from my perspective. And I'm not less. Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
And I was just saying, and I don't think I'm less on social media than I was during All Together because it's only been like 2 or 3 months. Like I'm still on looking at the same accounts. So it's like, I don't know.
I would just say that I didn't know who Weathered Souls was
Same.
before this, and other half, who is a world-renowned brewery, started all together. So I think that's probably at least part of it. As far as breweries that haven't done it, I think I've seen. Actually, I've seen people speak out against breweries for being like defund the police and whatever, but I can't remember if they were actually doing Black is Beautiful. They might not have. So like there's that aspect, but also brewing imperial stouts in the middle of the summer. Some breweries just might not be into that. Or be able to financially afford that because they know they're not going to sell it as quickly.
Does Keith's mustache afford him more authority or less?
Yes. Facial hair always does that. Yeah.
Defund that mustache, man. That's come on.
But that's a good point about the stouts, because in Matt, you've said it in your reviews and stuff. Like, even if you don't really like the beer, or maybe the beer is subpar, still go out and spend your money because it's going to a good cause. But a lot of people aren't going to be thinking that. Like, they're going to be thinking, cool, great, but I don't want to buy a stout right now.
I think the stout in the summer thing is a fucking myth.
I agree with you, Matt. I agree.
I have no problem doing either, but regular.
Because a stout for me is either a middle beer or an ender. It's either okay, I'm in the middle of a session and I want something bold, or I'm at the end and I want to go bye-bye time. And I've never been like, oh wait, it's 80 degrees outside, I can't do that. Like, I'm in an air-conditioned house. Like, what the fuck? If you're buying like boutique beer, it's not like you're not living in a climate-controlled environment. Like, I don't understand it. But it's also, you look at Florida bangs out some of the biggest stouts. You have a lot of, and plus it's like, I pick up a 4-pack of stout, I don't feel an urge to finish it. I'm like, I'll crack one, and I'll crack one in 6 months, and I'll crack one in 6 months. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, the stout, it's a % stout. Why do I even get to it?
Well, much like Kyle, I'm typically like a one beer at a time. Like, I'd have a beer for the night. I'm a weird little freak. But like, for me, it's what I want. Like, if I want a stout, I want a stout. If I want a Kolsch, I want a Kolsch. Yeah. I pour my beer. The only thing that prevents me from drinking stouts is so many of my best ones are in giant bottles, and I don't want to drink it by myself. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I can't drink a bottle. It's just I want to share it. I'd rather share it with someone else. So like buying cans of stuff, great. I'll drink them any night of the week, any time of the year.
Mike, I just want to add to what you're saying just real quick before someone else chimes in. That the last 2, maybe 3 times we did this group thing with all of us, you came into it like red hot hammered. You're like, one beer a guy, one beer a night. Like, the last time we did this together, you were like, I had 2 bottles of wine and a beer before.
And now we're drinking 3 altogether's.
Right, no, you're not. Typically, I do not drink anything during the week, and typically, if I do have a drink, it's only a single one on a weekend generally. But
dude,
we've for sure.
Yeah.
I am not averse to getting fucking wrecked, man. I assure you. in a typical situation.
I know. I think that story. I think that hangout that we did, we ended up telling stories about getting wrecked.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I know you're not averse. You know what I
mean? But dude, the first time. Sorry to get it way off track here. The first time I had to meet with a new corpsman in the Navy, because when a new corpsman comes aboard, you need to meet with them and discuss your health things. And he asked me how much I drank. I said I drink about 30 beers a day, and he started screaming at me because when I was 25, I was drinking about 30 beers a day. I was fucking stupid. I got fucking completely fucked up every single day, period, for weeks on end, unless I had duty. And I spent a lot of time pretty fucked up through my 20s. Fun.
I think a lot of people did. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Matt, to your original thought or question, yeah, I mean, there was definitely some breweries I was hoping would do it because I'm such a big fan. I'm not going to name any names, but like one of them, I was hoping they would do it. But to be fair, when there was that blackout on social media, they also donated money to a cause. So in my head, I'm like, okay, those people, they're not doing the Black is Beautiful beer, but they did a month earlier, or whatever the time was, I forget. They did donate to this same kind of idea. So I was like, okay, they get a pass. But there was a couple I was like, man, I like you guys a lot. And you're real. And then, and even like some who have liked when I posted Black is Beautiful beer. So it's like, you own and or brew at a brewery. Obviously, you're aware this is a thing that exists because you just liked my post. So you're, for whatever reason, and Mike brings up a good point. It could be the back-to-back. Listen, we just need to keep the lights on. We can't donate 100% proceeds to something. You know, but even those, I would like to see something like, here's why we're not doing it, but we support the cause. And what we're going to do is just put up a GoFundMe or whatever. So feel free on our website and social media to, you know, if you buy a 4-pack, donate $1 to that as well, or, you know, something, or like we're at the grocery store, like, do you want to round up for this charity? You know, things like that. Yeah. So I do, as much as I agree with Mike, I do think if they really cared, they could do something like that where they're still making 100% of the proceeds, like they're making 100% profit, but they're still doing something. Yeah, I mean, it just, in like where I grew up, like those breweries are freaking basically dead silent about this, which bums me out. So
yeah, was that a requirement to do this, to donate 100% of the proceeds, or was that just what people decided to do?
Unless I'm like way off, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to donate 100% proceeds to something that helps, you know, essentially justice for Black people in America. So that's why you see like a lot of NAACPs, you know, things like that. But I'll look it up. You guys can talk. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was going to ask too, while you're looking it up, were the labels also provided by somebody? Just like,
yes.
Okay.
If you go to the website that Weather Souls picked up, you can download the recipe on there. You can download the label. You can download. So you could do a homebrew version of this if you wanted to.
Right, but with the Altogether's, a label company was providing them for cost.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because I'm just wondering, like, are there breweries out there that are just like doing it themselves to, like, you know, get in on the hype and then being scumbags?
I don't know. There is a label company who would print them at a discount. They said anyone who sends us this, we will print it at a discount. Literally the first thing for what you need to do is donate 100% of the beer's proceeds to local foundations that support police brutality reform and legal defenses for those who have been wronged. You can choose one, you know, at a local level, and then commit to long-term work of equality, which I know I've talked about, I know Matt's talked about, like someone like a Carton. You know, they're like, yeah, we're going to like try to do things to get more Black people into brewing beer. Tired Hands has been doing it. Garrett Oliver is involved with a new initiative to try to provide scholarships for people of color to get into brewing and distilling, actually, because it's the Michael Jackson. It's not the Michael Jackson Foundation, but they are using his name because he did beer and spirits. So I think that third thing, that long-term, you know, it's like the all together, hey, we're cool, we're doing all together, right? Like we're hip, we're trying to help people. Like that could be a little flashy, as much as I do think it's a good thing. And this could be for some a deterrent, or some like I'm hopping on this hype train of like, oh, we're doing this too, and I don't actually care at all about Black people and they're going America. So I like that they put that third one in there where it's like, no, like this is like a long-term thing, and that can look different for different people, and different breweries. But you know, what does it actually mean?
Yeah, but there's also the middle ground where I know there's at least one, and based on a couple names of other breweries, I assume it's the same thing, but they are owned or have people working there that are like Blue Lives Matter kind of people.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. So there's kind of like a blurred line there where they might just be doing it to get to get it, bring attention to their brewery. even though some of the ones I've seen, they're kind of like better known breweries. So I don't know if it actually helps them or not, but
there's multiple levels. There's probably breweries that can't afford to do it, like was mentioned, that like it's like we can't afford it. And then there's breweries that can't afford to do it from a standpoint that, like I said, like if your fan base is super offended by the beer, then you should not and have those people come to your brewery. But if that brewery didn't have those people come to the brewery, they might go under. So what choice did they have?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sitting here being righteous, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But
yeah.
So I understand that. But then there's people who are bottom line, like, this is going to hurt our price point. So when we input the data into our Excel sheet and it processes that we'll lose 0.3% profit this quarter, we shouldn't do it. But then there's breweries that are like, and I don't want to seem like they're infallible, but there's breweries like Treehouse. They're not going to do it because they just don't do anything. So nobody looks at them like, oh, they didn't do it because they just don't do anything ever. So it's like they kind of get a pass on it. Yeah. But then you have breweries that are like almost like you said, Keith, where it's like, okay, we kind of think you're doing it for the wrong reasons, but we can't really tell that you're doing it for the wrong reasons, but we kind of sure know that you're doing it for not doing it for the wrong reasons. But it's like, it is, you know, it is what it is, but it's frustration. And in the grand scheme of things, I could be like, sit here and be as whatever and be like, in my eyes, silence is complicity. So it's like, if you're not doing it, then you're being complicit. So that's me, but I don't own a brewery and I might not lose my livelihood by saying those words. Like, dude, like my subscribership has dropped to like literally less than half the amount I've gotten over the past 2 years just because I'm talking about these things. Like, it's crazy. The amount of like, and I don't give a fuck, but it's worth talking about that. Like, literally my percentage of people following me is like infinitely less because I'm saying these things. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But it's like, it shows how it is, you know?
Well, and that's,
I think to say silence is complicit, I think is a little overstated. Like, I think it'd be easier to ask the question instead of just assuming. You know, like there's a million different things, and we've only discussed like 3 different possibilities. There's a million different ways that this could have gone as far as like why a brewery did or didn't do it.
Okay,
like
let's put it this way, and this is me agreeing with you, Mike. If you did all together and you didn't do this beer, there's a conversation to be had.
I understand, but like, have a conversation then. Don't. Like, I'm not saying that you're making these accusations either. I'm saying like it. Like,
that's an accusation. No, I'll say it's an accusation. If you stand behind all together, but you don't stand behind this, then you're saying that people should earn money, but not certain people, or you should support your cause, not a certain other kind of cause.
Right, but no one's having the conversation with the people who are making these decisions, and instead, like it is entirely possible that it's completely financially like not possible for them to go forward because of the previous charitable thing they did. No, I'm not saying that is what happened because people are fucking racist everywhere. I'm not even trying to make excuses for anyone. I'm just saying it'd be easier to have the conversation rather than make accusations. In my opinion.
And just to say that, the answer towards that, it's not like the ingredients that go into a beer is very similar to the ingredients go into a pizza. You know, a $15 pizza is like 89 cents worth of ingredients. No, it is. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand there's power, electric, water, you know what I mean? Tank time, all that kind of stuff. But I'm saying ingredients, you know what I mean? It's not that much.
I just think that when it comes to I mean, and again, I'm not sort of even saying that that's what you're saying, but I think as soon as people start labeling any sort of motivation as racist, you stop kind of taking the whole thing seriously. I think that there's a lot of different motivations for why people do things. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I mean, honestly, Keith, I think actually you sort of hit something pretty hard in the head when we're talking about a brewery that was here before I never even heard of, versus when other half sort of started a movement. They're one of the most popular breweries, not as far as like profit margins, but like everybody is on that hype train, and it makes me wonder if those breweries were doing these things not because they cared about All Together, but because they can get on that those
100%. There was
of All
Hey,
Together.
we brewed another half beer. Yeah.
No,
many
yeah,
breweries.
but those breweries, but you cannot argue that Black is Beautiful is less known than Altogether now. It was a slower burn to get as popular, but when Other Half and all those big breweries that we talked about that started Altogether accepted it and championed that cause, then it's there. Like it's that argument is mute at that point, because it's like, no, everybody knows. So at this point, if you're choosing not to do it, and that's the thing. If you're choosing not to do it, that's fine. I'm not saying if you don't do it, go fuck yourself. Like, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. You're just telegraphing to people your intentions in beer and life and all those things. And it just gives people a better better foundation on what you think as far as your core ethos and individualism as a human. So then people will understand where they should spend their money. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying if a person doesn't do Black is Beautiful, they should burn the brewery to the ground and throw them out of the country. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it speaks volumes of the brewery. You know what I mean? And there are going to be exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying it's a flat yes or no kind of thing. There's always gray area. But if you were to be like, okay, I'm not quite sure, they didn't do it. And if you spend a little bit of time, look into their Facebook, look into their patronage, look at who they follow, look at who they support, and you'll be like, okay, now I know why they didn't do it. Then you can be like, personally, you can be like, go fuck them. You know what I mean? I'm not being hard and fast yes or no. I'm rigid, but not that rigid.
Yeah, I just feel, I don't think anything you said right there is actually wrong, especially if you start looking at like the patronage. That's a really, really good indicator of where they're looking for profits and all that. But I do think a lot of times, like, I do think a lot of times people start swinging before they start thinking. And I you know what I mean? That's all.
Well, to Matt's point, you know, same things happen to me because I reviewed 5 of these, and like some of them you see I post a Black is Beautiful review and then I lose a sub the next day. I don't gain any, I lose one. But this isn't how I make my money, you know, and if anything in my job they reward me for caring about people and being invested in all my students and understand that there are you know, their life experiences are different. We know why I need to take that into account, et cetera, et cetera. So if anything, I get rewarded for being knowledgeable about this. But the beer side of it,
what if I sub to you with 5 different accounts, and as a troll, every day I take off one?
Ridiculous. But I mean, again, the similar point you guys are making, but like a brewery that is how they make money. If I'm losing subs or plateauing because I'm doing these beer reviews, that doesn't hurt. Like I still have a roof over my head, I still have food, all that stuff. But a brewery, especially depending on where they are and their clientele, as you guys are talking about correctly, like there's one, I know the owner, I know where he stands on issues like this. He and I agree about issues like this. They have not brewed this beer. I still know his thoughts and his heart about it, but I think it's a financial thing, and like that sucks. And maybe, and I don't know this part of it, but maybe that is hard for him as a human being to be like, I want to do a thing. And again, I don't know if this is true or not of him, but I do know he is on the right side of history. But he's also, you know, trying to keep a brewery open and have his family taken care of and have the, you know, his employees have a job and all that kind of stuff too. So like, yeah, I agree. Like as Matt said, I'm not trying to burn any place down that didn't do it, but like it is this time in our history where people are like, speak up. Like this is the time. Like say something, because if you don't, it's pretty freaking lame. Like, you know, it's like it's like, at least in my lifetime, it's the most comfortable I've ever felt, or I think like seen, where you could talk about race and thinking race is like a thing that needs to be confronted and addressed in these race relations, and that it, you know, these things exist and it's not right. And it's kind of like the safest time to maybe verbalize that. And if you're not, but like at the same, I mean, well, you get like big companies who some, you know, have spoken out and some haven't. It's just, I don't know. I'm gonna get off on a tangent, but like Matt mentioned Amazon earlier. There are a lot of reasons I try not to shop on Amazon. So like it's not just a one thing. Like because you don't want to go too crazy or too far. I think Sean and Mike and I talked about this off screen. Sometimes we try to right or wrong. The pendulum swings too far, and you end up kind of being like, wait, what? Like, no. Like, we want it here, but because we started here, you're like overcorrecting, and this is kind of almost ridiculous. But like, I think it'd be too far over. Short version, I think it'd be too far over here if we burn those breweries to the ground, right? But but I do kind of hope like. I don't know. I'm going to check.
I understand what you're trying to say, and I think everybody's understands. At least I hope everybody understands what you're trying to say, Kyle. And it's to what exactly the point you said. It wasn't. It's not a yes or no. It's not a black or white thing. It's not a they don't do it. They do it. Like you said, your friend is on the right side of history, but if he did it, he might not make it out the other end. And if he doesn't make it out the other end, then that's another good place that's employing good people doing good things. So and that's where when you look into the situation and you start to be like, okay, this is the reasoning behind what people are doing. I'm not calling it yes or no. Like there's a comment, from the crap beer or something says, it says, but what if breweries didn't do all together, but did do Black is Beautiful? It's the same thing. If you didn't do all together, that's fine. But it's like if I look at your brewery and then you're on, you're pumping out releases every 2 weeks, and while you're doing that, you're still going on vacation to Cabo. I'll be like, you're kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? But if like I see you on a not canning line, if I see you behind a bar crowlering beers because you can't afford the canning line to come in, I'd be like, well, that guy can't even afford that canning company to come in and can his beers. He's standing behind a bar, hand canning fucking 250 cases of beer. He might not be able to fuck with it. So it's not a matter of yes or no, up and down, left or right. It's a matter of being whatever. And then like there's another comment like, it's okay to be silent on fucking social issues. Not everybody has to jump on everything. That's fine. And I don't want to get too like out in left field, but like, if a kid's being abused, it's okay not to jump on that issue and be silent and just, there are alternative ways to do that. No, it's not. You know what I mean? Like you can be like, well, no. Be like, well, you're talking. That's crazy because abusing a child is way different than this. I'm like, no, it's fucking not, and that's the fucking problem. Is that you view, Black is Beautiful and the Black Lives Matter movement as way less of an atrocity than abusing a child. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. And if you do, then
is it wrong if you do? Is it wrong if you do though?
Is it wrong if you?
What I'm saying is that certain things matter more to other people, and just because
what's
it's not
the
same.
In the core, no. Let me ask you. Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, human beings are being murdered, defiled, and defaced. What does it matter if they're a child or a grown up or whatever? Like you have human beings being just crushed. Like that's like core of it.
To be fair, I mean. Half my questions here are honestly sort of like the devil's advocate sort of deal. We agree on nearly everything you're saying. All I'm doing is trying to promote a conversation.
No, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, for people watching who don't know Mike, that is what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
No, like in a good way, which is fine because it's a discussion.
Yeah.
And if this discussion is, we all agree. Bye, everyone.
Let's put it this way, Mike. 99% of the time, I'm you. In every conversation I have with everybody else.
Matt and Mike are very similar. It's kind of weird. They both begin with M's. I don't know. It's
both curmudgeons.
No, if you guys were beers, you'd be found as old curmudgeons. There's no question of that. I've had time to think about that question. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I just my only thing is that I do feel like, and it's sort of what we talked about the other day, Kyle, or whatever, me and Sean, as I do feel like a lot of times it becomes a game of sort of extremes instead of, and I do think the worst thing we can do is to not have the conversations, because I do think like things are way more nuanced a lot of times. But to be fair, I do think that racism can be pretty deeply seated, and I do think, unlike Matt, that even if you use a canning line or a crowler machine, you can still be racist. Sorry, Matt.
No, dude. You know what? I'm gonna let you know a little secret right now. There's some crazy banjo fucking playing like Deliverance level hillbilly racist right now drinking a Black Beautiful beer.
That's true. You're right.
Of course.
Yeah. It's the same way when somebody's like in fucking like in a line at Walmart using EBT saying Trump is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, Trump loves me. He'd be like, no, it isn't. He's trying to take everything away from me. Anyway.
That's 100% the case. Actually, can I get real quick back to the Trillium beer? This thing here, as it warms, is getting a lot better. I'm starting to like the mouthfeel a lot better. The flavors are sort of blooming and opening up in a nice way.
I love it.
I do love it.
But again, I started at 80 degrees, Mike, so that might be why, because I had it like, I mean, this beer is warm, like for me. And right out the gate, I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. This is delicious. It's not very much like the base for people who care about that, but this is really good.
See,
Go ahead.
Just to bring a point to everything, I don't even want to put it up screen because I don't want to give promotion to it. But there's this beer channel on there, and they're talking about like people get it's like classic like Trumpian bullshit, like fucking hate stuff. And it's for they say I think where some people get butthurt about Black is Beautiful is the belief that the proceeds go to Black Lives Matter, and they disagree with the political Marxist political ideology of Black Lives Matter. Those motherfuckers are racist. You know what I mean? They're just trying to play the game and dance around that shit. So, like, I'm just gonna block them from the channel. You can go fuck yourself.
Oh.
I blocked them.
Okay. No,
and to be fair, I agree with you, Matt. Block those fucking guys. Fuck that.
Like whenever, like, and it's that people from the beer review thing that put my name in their mouth, and I didn't know who the fuck they were when we were doing the conversation. Okay, so like those motherfuckers are racist, and they're just trying to do the whole kind of like, oh, we're not racist kind of thing, and it's like, come on, motherfucker, like I see you know what I mean, stuff like that, and they're trying to play that other card, like, dude, I was. Like I got an argument with a lady yesterday. I haven't got an argument about anything because I don't go anywhere. But I was coming home. My wife wanted something to eat, so I stopped by a place to get something to eat. And this lady just was up in my shit. Like I'm standing in line, and she's literally putting her hand on my shoulder, like leaning into this window. And I'm like, could you please I only said, could you please step back? Like, there's lines in the ground. Just go back there. And she just started calling me every name in the book. You fat piece of shit. You fucking this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, you're probably one of those Trump people. And I'm like, I think you're one of those people, not me. And then, like, I have it on videotape, too. I can send it to you. And we're going back forth. She's screaming at me, yelling at me. And I'm just kind of, I'm not being an adult. I'm egging her on. I'm just kind of laughing and joking and stuff. And then immediately she starts calling me like the derogatory terms for homosexuals, F words. And I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm like, you're the Trump person. You're not the Trump person. So it's like people are going out of their way to try to lean in a direction to get people to believe they're over here, but they're really over here. Oh man, I can't stand that shit. Anyway, sorry about derailing that stuff.
No, I actually think that's a really good anecdote as far as just like understanding the world we're living in right now, because instead of looking at this as a movement, we should look at this as like part of the world. And instead of having, I think as soon as we start looking at things as movements, we can sort of diminutize them as like a segment of things. I think it's a better idea in to look at the world less of segments and more of colors and like portions of things, like as a part of the whole. And I do think that a person like that is inherently poisonous. And if that's the type of people you're running into in public, that really is shit. That sucks. Like I did talk to a few people about it a few months ago. I was picking up beer at a brewery locally, and the lady up there screaming at you, like, "Get the fuck out of my state!"
I remember that.
What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I remember you telling us that.
You know, and you wonder where the fucking these people's heads at. Like I cannot imagine. Like I know there's a I'm a curmudgeon and whatever, but like I could not imagine getting up in the morning, rolling out of bed, and being like, I'm gonna be a fucking asshole today.
Yeah.
Like I really do try to have like a good time and not be a dick to people.
Yeah.
You know, like the only person I'm really a dick to is Sean, and that's because it makes me happy. But whatever.
You and me both, brother. You and me
Sean's
both.
the best. You guys are mean. Sean's great.
We never said we weren't mean, man. I don't understand. What's going on.
Again, Mike and Matt, they're like the same person. It's so weird.
It's not being mean to Sean that makes me happy. It's Sean's response to me being mean to him that makes me happy.
Sean's response to being mean. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Ridiculous.
And sorry to get back to this. Real quick to the beer. The reason why we're doing this real quick is as it warms. This is probably like 67 degrees at this point. It's very warm. I'm getting a lot more like saccharine sort of sugariness. I'm getting the mouthfeel is getting like not oily so much, but much more sort of unctuous, like luscious. It's a little more like
I think it's like light syrup.
Yeah, but it is, but it has such a weird way of coating my mouth that isn't so much oily. It's an interesting thing, but like the flavors sort of getting rounded off too. Like in the barrels becoming much more apparent, and it is a much more nuanced and thoughtfully crafted beer than I thought it was as a when it was much colder. That's just me admitting that I was probably a little bit hasty in my judgment. Because I'm fair and balanced and not a curmudgeon.
Shit.
Apparently not like this beer when it was cold.
What was the other question I wanted to ask you guys? Oh, no. Actually, what I wanted to talk about real quick, because I'm not quite sure how long we're going to go. Sean, tell everybody about the mystery beers we're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I sent regular mystery beers. So I sent 3 mystery beers to Matt and 3 mystery beers to Kyle. None of them are the same. Spoilers. 2 are.
I reviewed one already.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 are regular mystery beers. 1, Matt was making a comment in our group chat last week about like, wouldn't it be funny if someone just pulled the label off one of the beers and sent it and then just never told them what it was? Now, and then I'm packing the beers up and I'm like, and both beers I was going to send you, by the way, were going to be regular beers. I wasn't going to wrap them as mystery. I was just going to go. I was going to send you 2 mystery beers and then just send the Black is Beautiful beers and then these other ones as like regular ones. And I was like, eh. And basically they have blank cans and it's up to me if I want to tell them. Mike, I think you know what they are. Or I may have texted you one.
No, we discussed it.
Did I text you both?
At least one Matt did, for sure.
The one that I took the labels off of.
Yeah, you're talking about the one you sent Matt particularly.
But I didn't tell you the one I took off on Kyle's, right?
If they're different, then no.
They're different. So yeah, Kyle, you could wait for that.
So we were talking about a couple different ways to do it, and I think the live version would be the best. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
But at that point, though, like it kind of defeats the purpose of your joke idea, right? Like to drive you mad.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it totally does. Which you could actually See, this is where you have to stop at your troll, man. You could because the whole premise that we talked about offline was like, okay, we'll do it live, and then we'll all get online, and then we'll do the honor system to where like me and Kyle has one for himself, to where we kind of turn the mic off, and Sean will actually explain what's going on. Okay, it's a mystery beer. There's a label on it, and this is the actual beer. So let's watch them work through it. So it's almost like a reverse mystery beer, to where you actually know what it is, but we don't. But then if you never tell it, but if
I can still not tell you, but then someone could comment it. Yeah, but someone could put it in the comments.
Yeah, that's true. But I actually thought about that. Not that we would never figure it out. I guess we would eventually.
You could eventually.
But my point was when if I did it or Kyle and I did it together, we'd have to switch the chat on StreamYard to the private chat, so we couldn't see any of the live chat going on.
100%.
So at least from that standpoint, we wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
the only downside of that is, we would lose the comments if we had to put comments up there. But but that's probably the best way to probably.
No.
Do it.
I mean, in StreamYard, you have the option over here to actually click off comments where we don't see the live comments.
Oh right, yeah. You can click private chat, right?
You know what I mean? So that way nobody's spoiling it in real time. Sure, we can go back and watch the video, but then what we could do is we could do another level of honor system. So me and Kyle could, like Seinfeld, like the bet. Whoever lasts the longest without looking at the comments to find out what the beer is wins. And then we go by the honor system to be like, okay, we're each going to put $50 towards our favorite Black is Beautiful charity. And whoever cracks first, you know what I mean? We could do the honor system.
That's really good. That's good. Is there a way for you to...
Well, here's the best thing, and I think this is what you're going to say right now, Sean. I don't know if you received Eva's email this morning. YouTube is stopping sending emails about video comments.
I did not see that. No.
What? Yeah, I got an email from YouTube this morning saying, whenever there's a comment or something about a video, nobody ever looks at them, so we're going to stop sending emails. So the only way to view a comment is actually actively have to go view it.
No, I wasn't going to say that, but I got.
Okay,
I don't know what I was going to say now. I got sidetracked. Thanks, Matt. No, I really did forget what I was going to say. Shit, what was I going to say? I don't remember. Fuck.
I mean,
I know what it was. Because when Kyle and I were talking about doing it on your channel because of the more viewers. So that way we could have more viewers. We could see how many people were there, and then we know when we could probably start. Okay, we have like 10 people watching. That's probably enough. Yeah. Instead of it getting really high and then have to re-explain it. My question was, can you delegate somebody else like in here right now to like, if they were looking at the comments, like I could then put one up on the screen, like even if you could see it, but it has nothing to do with, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, can you delegate?
I could just give somebody my login info.
I was trying to figure it was just easier to delegate.
Not even login info. Like it would just be the login for StreamYard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's only that one code.
Yeah.
So that may be the better way to do it, because that way then I could then control what comments go up on screen, and I can at least put the more insightful ones or the ones that aren't related to it if they're funny or whatnot, and still control it.
So we definitely want comments involved because
I think it'd be funny if it was just you three obviously doing this live stream, and Sean was able to sort of like put up comments that were sort of talking shit, but you guys couldn't see them, like when he's explaining how wrong you guys are or how right or whatever.
So now would be OBS.
So what Mike's saying is that Mike and Keith are going to still be around for this live stream, but they're going to be in the comments just talking shit.
Oh yeah, no, I want all the shit, man.
That would probably be funnier if even if you guys weren't on and you were just in the comments just trolling.
It'd be fun. That would be fun.
We got to. We'll figure it. I'd like to do it tomorrow, but I know you can't do it.
I may be able to do it. Depends what time. I may.
Tomorrow's tough for me though. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Some other day.
But
next Sunday, I'm doing a live stream.
Did you pick the beer? Is that what it is?
I haven't looked, but it's gonna be Rochefort 6. It's got like a huge lead.
Yeah, I was thinking of picking it up because I can get that pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, so that almost certainly be the beer. I have to check. It had like, there's no way it's not going to be.
Yeah, I noticed that too on the poll. Do you already have one? Is it aged?
No, that's Jersey, man. I can go find like several different vintages of Rochefort 6 on a shelf anytime I want in Jersey. It's crazy. Like I can get it anywhere, and I'll be like, which vintage do I want? And it's like, this one. Okay. Nice. Yeah, and it's cheap too, man, in Jersey. Oh, yeah. I think I can get bottles of Rochefort 6 for like $4 and change, $5 and change, or something like that.
Whoa,
beer's so good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to pick it up. Wait, is it a Sunday or a Saturday?
I think it's Sunday. Sunday, right, Keith? Early on Sunday. I think it's like 3, maybe. The online share.
What time?
I don't.
Let me.
You said it was the 23rd, right? You said it was the 23rd?
Oh, shit, I gotta go to a birthday party.
Let me see. Let me double check.
It's a Sunday, right? Yeah, I think that's a Sunday.
Yeah, I usually try to hold them early on Sundays. Let me see what it is.
23rd is a Sunday. Yeah.
It is going to be on the 23rd at 3 p.m.
No, maybe I can swing that.
No,
Always
if,
watch.
if there's another, I can.
Well, no, because I have a birthday party to go to, but like I could probably just even sign in and watch it.
Oh, come on! You want to go to a birthday party hopped up on fucking Rocheforts? Come on now.
No, I'll definitely be at the party before 3, but I think I may still be at the party. But my thought is, so we're going to it's at Carrie's mom's house, and Reed is right around the corner. So I technically could say, hey, I'm going to go to Reed's house, and 2 bottles, and then both Reed and I can join from his backyard.
Yeah.
Then it turns into a giant gong show.
Hi, Sean. I am Sean from Nerd since I ditched a kid's birthday party to come here and drink Belgian doubles on a Sunday at 3 in the afternoon.
and then afterwards, I'll just go back and I'll just hop in a pool and I'll just sober up. It'll be magic.
You're like Roth from the league. Be like, I'll crack the booze out.
Crack the booze out.
Wait, speaking of him in the league, how many people watch that Netflix show? It's the same people who did the league who did that beer. Was it Brothers beer or?
Yeah, Brew Brothers.
Brew
Brothers.
I want a season 2.
Yeah, because I think they can build and get a little bit better. But you could see moments of the league in there.
Yep.
It being beer centric, but like.
Yeah, it wasn't the league.
Yeah, exactly, Keith. Despite some moments, it wasn't the league.
Yeah.
But maybe
if you go and watch the first 5 episodes of the league are pretty shitty. I don't know if you guys went back and watched them.
And that's where I was going with this show. Like, this show definitely did get better production wise with that, but it still felt off. It still felt like cheap in a way. So that's why I'm like hoping that maybe season 2 and like even the first couple episodes of the league were still like that, but like, it was still funny, but it was still just not a very well done type thing. This definitely had some moments, but I think season 2 could make it better. I hope at least. I
think it was like episode 3 was the first one I actually laughed at all.
Yeah, I remember watching it. I texted you. I was like, "You watched it?" Yeah, when we were talking.
Yeah, I think it was 3 episodes in where I finally got a laugh. But again, like there were moments which makes me think if they had some time, they could make it better. And comedies are tough, and sometimes a one season is needed to kind of figure it out before the next season.
But to be honest, like I totally forgot about that show until you just brought it up.
Yeah.
So, I want to ask you all a question. I want you to be dead serious about your answer because my answer is going to be better than all of your answers. What are you doing after this stream?
After this stream?
Yes.
Making love to my wife.
It's better than that. What else?
I hope he's watching going, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. No. I'm going to eat something.
And that might be better. Anybody else? Keith is going to play with himself. I don't know.
Sorry, I misplaced something. I don't know where it went.
He's going to look for it.
I'm going to look for that, and I'll probably have more beers and probably eat something, and then maybe play some video games or something, or watch Netflix.
Maybe go to the eye doctor about that direct sunlight that's going into.
Literally, he's like fucking fan of the opera over there.
That was good.
I'm probably going to ask Mike if he wants to bang out a review and then eat something and then probably video games.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to ignore Sean's text and wipe my ass with an honest Wagner baseball card.
Fair enough. What video games? Because that's where my thing's going to go.
So I have 2 possibilities. 3 actually. I need to finish The Last of Us, but if I need to finish The Last of Us, I have to go upstairs and get the PlayStation and bring it downstairs.
We don't want to talk about that because Keith said it wasn't awesome and he can go fuck himself. But what was it? Was the other one?
The second is it also involves going upstairs and getting the PlayStation, the Marvel Avengers beta.
Okay.
The third option is, since the Xbox One is already down here, I could probably do Gears of War, the latest one.
Kyle?
I'm really going to do something.
Yeah, you're gonna get some. What game are you gonna play, Keith? It's not Last of Us 2 because that sucks.
No, it has to be because they just updated it and added more
Oh,
trophies.
you're gonna play permadeath? Are you gonna play permadeath?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's gonna play permadeath. No one's
That's
play
what I'm doing.
I'm gonna play video game, and I'm gonna play the fucking demo for Tony Hawk 1 2.
Is that out?
Oh.
Yeah, motherfucker.
If you
had to pre-order the game.
Yeah. It came with the pre-order.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm having the best time tonight out of everybody because I'm playing Tony Hawk.
Well,
and I
that.
heard it's legit. Like it's like the old one. Like
I still remember playing Tony Hawk 1 and having Anthrax in the background from
dude.
Suicidal tendencies, Psychovision is not on it, so it will never.
As long as there's Primus on there, that's all I care about.
It will never be the same.
Those soundtracks were killer.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Jerry was a race car driver?
Was a race car driver?
Yes.
That was the one that was on there. Right?
Yeah.
I remember not even liking 2 that much. Like I remember 2 came out and being like, meh. But 1 was just always my jam.
Yeah.
What came out first? The South Park came out first with the Primus theme song, right? That would have been before. I'm trying to think when the first time I heard Primus. It was either Tony Hawk or South Park.
South Park just celebrated their 29th anniversary or something.
I think South Park was a year or 2 before Tony Hawk, so it must have been South Park was the first time I heard. Anyway, sorry, yeah, first time I heard Primus was South Park.
That's how old I am. I actually saw the South Park video when it was a VHS before it ever went on.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah.
when it was like fucking
like a
really
in-person viral video. The Spirit of Christmas before it was. Yeah, because it was the story goes, it was they made it for some rich guy as a Christmas thing or whatever, and my buddy, one of my good friends, his family was from New York City, and they were all in the financial district, and they were friends with the guy. So it's trickle down shit that they were what the fuck is this thing? You know what I mean? And end up seeing it. Yeah, that's one of my little quirks.
Didn't they make the first one with construction paper and stuff?
Oh yeah,
it was a little stop motion craziness.
Yeah.
First season,
and allegedly, I saw something about while maybe by season 3. They were essentially using the same computer that they were doing the Matrix with to do these episodes, and which is why they were able to be so far ahead. Something fucked up would happen on Monday, and they'd be referencing on an episode on Friday because they were able to just create this fucking nonsense so quickly with the at that time state of the art computers for a janky looking show.
Speaking of state of the art, Sean, have you updated to Premiere Pro 2020 yet?
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
Is there something I missed? It looks
all kinds of I don't know everything. It's faster.
Oh, it is. No,
it supports HVAC codecs properly. You know what I mean? So it's I can render a 10-minute 4K video in 3 minutes now. You know what I mean? It's insane, and it has that if you do a video where it can self-track your face and it frames. If I want to make a video, if I want to, what I could do is record a beer video where it's so wide it captures the whole room, and just be okay, I want it for YouTube, I want it for square, and I want it vertical, and it'll automatically frame it perfectly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's insane, dude, and it'll look perfect. You can't just shoot the same tight angle you want; you have to go further back. But you could just be click a button, and it'll frame it as a square. It'll frame it as a vertical 10:9 and 16:9, and a horizontal 6:9, 16:9. Yeah, what?
Is it an export setting? When you're exporting it, you want to export?
No, it's like an effect. You have to apply it, but it's a core effect. If you how you can go to your effects folder and then apply shit. This is if you click on a sequence, right click on a sequence where it's chain sequence settings. It's in there, so where you can be okay, do this. It's a core part of the system. It's not like a secondary filter, so it does it mad fast. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Everybody else is like, yeah, we're leaving.
I just glazed over rolling.
Sorry, I'm reading the news. I don't know anything about this.
Wow. I don't read the news. Now I'm happier.
There you go.
I did find, I mean, for what it's worth, I drank the White Lion Trillium faster than the Lord Hobo. So for what it's worth to people, that was the beer I kind of kept going to and finished.
The one that would be probably indiscriminately difficult to get instead of the Lord Hobo.
I switched to lager for like a little bit because lager.
It's like water.
Lager jams. Hey, speaking of lager, because he posted a lager video today, Joe from the Beer Patrol is back. So anyone who's watching this, you see that Joe is posting new content. Give him a little shout out. He did send me a message. He wants to start doing some live streams with us, but probably in the fall, he said realistically. So he's posting new content. So there you go.
Joe's the nicest guy in history, mankind. Well, all Joes are kind of, right? Joe Senegali is fucking awesome.
I think every Joe I know is
like really nice.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
What about Joseph Mengele?
Or Joseph Stalin? Actually, no, Stalin was
Joe Piscopo.
But yeah, no, yeah, Joe from Jow's Arcade, very nice person, very nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a sadist, though. That's the problem with it, because he's a sports bandwagon jumper. He's like, the Patriots are the best thing ever, and he's wearing like a fucking Buccaneers hat now. He jumps like from sports team to sports team. I don't think there's
maybe he just loves Brady.
I was gonna say
no, but then you have to denounce. That's the thing. Sports bigamy is way worse than real bigamy, man. Like you can't fuck with that shit. Like you pick your team as your team. You live and die. That's it.
I'm interested. I didn't see that. Did he actually buy a Bucks hat? He was running Bucks.
Yes, he wears them in the video. He wore them in the video the other day.
I must have watched the last few videos, but no, I'm excited about the Bucks games. Like I'm more excited because now, like, yeah, I'll always watch. Like, I'll try to watch multiple games on Sundays, but now I'm like laser focused. Like, I'm definitely gonna watch the Pats games. Definitely gonna try to watch all the Bucks games I can. Oh, just because I'm more interested in seeing it, but I'm not going to switch to be a Bucks.
I'll let you in a little secret. You're going to get to watch every single one of them. Every single NFL game you're going to be able to watch.
Oh, yeah, because they're all going to be fucking airing.
Well, no, because with no college or high school sports, they're going to have
Fridays,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They're going to actually have NFL 5 days a fucking week. The only reason they haven't done this is because of college and high school, but no one's going to play it, so they're going to be like, fuck it. We're just going to do it all. We're going to have it on fucking Thursday to Monday. Go fuck yourself. And it's going to be awesome.
No, it's not.
Unlike baseball. Yeah,
Mike's going to be pissed when the Patriots games are on Fridays. I'm like, I can't record tonight. Or I guess we could record and then in between videos I could check what's going on.
Or you can just ignore the fucking men touching themselves in the ass and playing nothing for 3.5 fucking hours, 11 minutes of gameplay. No big deal.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
That was a weird thing.
He's not watching UFC.
What's that? What was that?
What?
I honestly didn't hear you.
No, it's okay. You don't worry about it.
No, it's fine. When Kyle was talking, you said something and it got cut off from me. I only heard it was Kyle's voice.
Oh, man, I was talking about your wrestling.
Wrestling?
The wrestling you're watching tomorrow night.
You can go whatever you like when people are getting fucking annihilated and getting CTE.
You can see Sean pushing the buttons.
Sean's like, make fun of me, will you guys? I'm going to get you two to fight each other.
It doesn't. It honestly, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't bother me at all. It's just fun to sort of like play along with Sean.
I had a guy I used to work with, and he was a football coach, and he was trying to like belittle me because I like comic book movies and like how I should watch sports because I don't watch any sports. And that's why I said to him, just like, actually, he called me gay. He's like, that stuff seems kind of gay. And I'm like, yeah, a bunch of jack dudes running around hitting each other seems pretty gay. I'm
Playing
like,
on top of each other. Yeah, like what the fuck?
you don't know what I'm describing. Am I describing football or freaking a superhero movie? I'm just like, this is so, like, whatever. Yeah, it was sad because his son, he was like, oh yeah, my son was like, hey, should we see? I forget what it was. Let's say it's the first Avengers movie, whatever it was. And then my son looked at me. He's like, don't you think it's kind of gay though, Dad? I'm just like, Father of the Year, man. You got like a 8-year-old son who's saying that. I'm like, you are the Father of the Year, man. But that's what I said to him. Just like you, like, it's just people like different things for entertainment, man. Like nothing's better than you want to bring in like homosexuality as an insult. Like whatever, dude. But luckily, he got a job at Cornell and he quit that my old school district, and he doesn't hurt kids by having that thought process anymore. So he can coach college athletes at Cornell. He works at Cornell. If you didn't catch that, he's a Cornell coach. Cornell football program coach.
Okay, good. Just
Healing dogs, making glass. That's what they do. Cornell.
Oh my God. Now, having finished the Trillium one and going back to Lord Hobo, and again, there's such different stouts. It's nice because it's so different. So like you're not like getting palate fatigue. It's almost like you're completely switching styles because of that black IPA thing. It's a good beer.
Yeah, I ended up pouring the rest of the Lord Hobo in here, and I was drinking it as we were all talking. And then you probably saw it. I ended up blending it again because the blend is really fucking good.
Yeah, that's why I did. I was gently poured mine together. I don't know if you guys caught that, but
Gently.
yeah. So what else do we have to bring to the table? Are we about done with this? Because I kind of want to go play video games. So
we're at the hour and a half mark.
Matt, I have a quick question for you because you
Sure.
do like boxing to some degree. What do you think about the Lomachenko Teofimo Lopez thing that just came out? Well, it should probably be among the biggest matches of the year. And Lomachenko deliberately gave some of his purse to Lopez in order to make the fight happen.
I don't know. I'm a Lomachenko.
Sean.
I'm a Lomachenko like fucking like believer. Like I'm just like I think he's like Jesus. So I just like it'd be like, hey, what do you think about this? Well, like it's like Michael Jordan versus other. Like I think Lomachenko is the best in the history of mankind. He's not the best boxer. He's just the most. I don't know.
What I especially liked was the fact that like Lopez was holding out for more money, and he said, "Fuck this, we're fighting. I'm giving you some of my purse."
Oh no, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's like, hey, I don't give a fuck. Let's fight, because that's the best part about fighting. That's the best part about boxing. Like when people posture, like that dude postured, and that's what makes it even better. Because that dude's like posturing. You don't know if he was posturing because he didn't want to fight. You don't know if he was posturing because he actually wanted more money. You don't know. But with Lomachenko doing that, then it's like he's fucked, because it's like now you can't say no, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that old Eddie Murphy skit where he's like in Eddie Murphy Raw, where he's like, yeah, just act like a crazy man. And the one time I act like a crazy man, the guy was like, come on. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh fuck, I fucked up. This guy's crazier than me. That's what makes fighting fucking awesome. So no, I'm down with it, but it's a while off, so we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
One of the things I remember reading a few years ago was how like it is repeatedly, almost every year, Tom Brady was sort of taking pay cuts in order to get other players to come to the Patriots and open up that money. And I know, Matt, I know you're not a Tom Brady guy, but I do like that when someone sort of takes the higher road to get better.
Well, see, that's a bad analogy, because Tom Brady was making money on the side. Outside of that, they were actually funneling money. No, he was taking a pay cut, but he was the money that he was cutting was the crafts were funneling. Like he's gonna end up going and getting in trouble for like insider. Like the Patriots are gonna get in a lot of trouble eventually for like funneling money along the sides in order to pay. No, I'm dead serious. To pay Brady on the side, so like he could have like they were basically fucking the salary cap over, so they could do that. Like you view it as like some magnanimous thing that Brady was doing, but it wasn't. It was like, hey, why don't you take this $20 million pay cut? oh, hey, can you go talk to my kid at his birthday party and we'll give you $20 million? That has nothing to do with your salary. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they were doing. So, but I understand the concept you're talking about.
No, I'm only laughing because I know how much it's hurting Sean's soul right now.
Birthday party appearances have nothing to do with your NFL contract, so I don't know what the problem.
Nope, not at all.
I don't understand. Kyle, Keith, is that right?
No, I have no idea.
The
only thing
not
that
a great sport,
matters
my
is
bad.
birthday parties is darts to the neck.
What the fuck?
You're fucking crazy, man. You're fucking crazy.
All right. So I started bringing up sports at the end. I just we did a live stream a while ago where me and Matt kind of kept going back to sports. I just wanted to kind of ask a few questions. Awesome. I had a good time. This was really, really fun. The whole thing was
Honestly,
really
we should do that. Like, what's the date for? Did they actually set a date for the fight yet, or I think it's agreed on the fight, correct?
I don't remember.
Well, if they set a date,
May 30th, it looks like. That's way far away.
A year away. Yeah. Well, if we're still alive by then, and Harry killed us all.
No, September 19th. Sorry, Google's wrong. ESPN's right.
Like this coming September?
That's what it says. Go to ESPN.
Let's set up a live stream where we do beer reviews and drink during the fight.
We can do that.
We'll watch the fight live.
I can't really see that, but no, I believe you.
No, it's just,
Something's highlighted on your phone. That's pretty impressive.
Let's do this. Let's do a live stream where we drink and fucking watch the fight together. Or unless you want to do it with your boys. Unless you want to do it with your boys, I understand that.
No, especially lately, like if I do have people over, it's one person at a time. I keep it everything pretty small. But usually it's just me and my brother watching boxing, or we're watching MMA. I'm okay with doing a live stream. We should do that.
Yeah. And then what we could do is we can have our own Letterman. We can have Keith come in and be like, I don't know about that, Mike. I scored at round 9 to fucking 10. You're like, I thought Lomachenko was way better in that round. And then what I think is going to happen is everything's going to go sideways. Back to you.
And then if anyone wants to watch, Kyle and I will be doing our own live stream in parallel, just kind of us watching Avengers Endgame or something
Mike,
like that.
For the 14th time.
How good was that impression?
That was good. It was good. I hope the key starts commenting on round 9 after round 3. That'd be way funnier.
Okay. Anyway.
So, yep. I'm okay. And after I hang out with Sean later, I might actually end up playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's what I'll actually probably be doing, to be fair, after all that bullshit.
You've just redeemed yourself for everything you said in this podcast. Anyway, we're gonna cut it short, guys. We're gonna head out because Daddy's gonna play video games, and everybody else does. Plus, we want to keep these. I like to keep these like an hour to 2 hours. I don't want to get all that long. So we appreciate you guys stopping by. There was some good conversation we had here. There's some good conversation in the comments we actually didn't touch on. So hopefully we actually go in there and kind of answer some questions people had. And hopefully you guys enjoy these. We're going to be doing another one definitely next week when we send some beers off and we do some kind of Jersey-born Blackest Beautifuls. And then stay tuned. We might be actually doing a mystery beer soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Who knows? I don't know.
Really mystery beer.
Yeah, really mystery beer. Like, there's no way. No ifs, ands, or buts. But no, here's the thing, though. And here's the thing, Sean. I just wanted to bring this up, is that you went out of your way to cover the date on mine with blue painter's tape. I'm pretty sure if I did some forensic science, I could figure out where the brewery was from the dating and printing on the bottom of the can. If I really wanted to be a douchebag.
I did that because I tried marking with a Sharpie on both yours, and then I was like, Then I put the tape on there, and then I actually peeled the tape off to see what happened after a couple minutes. Probably can't because it kind of peeled off some of the markings too.
Okay, fair enough. Because you know what? If you rub alcohol on there, it just comes off easily. But anyway,
I could have done that.
We're going to be doing a bunch of different stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews, Mike from Nerd Sense, Keith from 93 Lumber, Sean from Nerd Sense, Matt from Massive Beer Reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. Hopefully you join us next time. Yeah. Hopefully see you next time. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.